Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table podcast with PJ and Mike. Now find yourself a seat at their table.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Cool Kids Lunch Table podcast with PJ and Mike. I'm PJ.
And I'm Mike.
And today is our Super Bowl extravaganza.
Oh, yeah.
The Super Bowl is coming up this Sunday, so we thought today would be a great day to talk about it. Everyone, as you probably know, it's the 49ers versus Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl LVIII. So we'll jump right into our childhood memories about the Super Bowl. Do you remember the first Super Bowl commercial that you remember seeing and laughing at or enjoying?
I feel like you and I might have the same one.
Okay.
It's with the Budweiser frogs.
Yep.
Going Budweiser.
Budweiser.
And I actually was at my friend Sean's house, who's been a guest on our show. I remember just seeing him, just thought it was hilarious. I know they're not allowed to advertise towards kids anymore,
right?
But I thought it was so clever, man. Oh man, that's like the
all
one
the
I remember
Budweiser
most.
commercials are
Yep.
great. They do a great job. So mine is a Budweiser commercial, but it's not that one, although I do love that one. Do you remember the Bud Bowl?
Yes, I love the Bud Bowl.
The Bud Bowl. Why did they stop that?
Yeah.
They used to have the little bottles of beer playing football.
Yeah, that little helmets on them.
Yeah, and it was like throughout the game, you'd have like another commercial until you saw who was going to win.
Yes.
I think it was like Budweiser versus Bud Light or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I used to love those.
I just got that image in my head again.
They don't do shit like that anymore when you watch the games. It's all like just regular commercials, movie trailers or whatever. But that was so unique and so different and so entertaining. And I guess they stop it because, like you said, they can't advertise towards kids, and kids used to love that.
Yeah.
But that was my favorite commercial. I used to always root for the beer.
Yeah. Wow, man. You just took me back. I remember, I guess, more recent ones that I enjoy is, she passed away. Remember the one that Betty White, she gets tackled?
Yes.
I love that one. And, I remember the one was one, I think it was, like, the whole, like, phenomenon. Like, I was, that was, like, really big.
There was, I think, a couple of years ago, there was the Seinfeld and George Costanza reunion. That was pretty good. The commercials are usually the best part of the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's because the game, if it's not I always feel like if it's not my team playing, and I'm a Jet fan, so it will never be my team playing, right? Like, it's tough to really care about who wins or loses.
Right.
So the commercials keep you invested in it. And then the game is almost secondary at some point.
Yeah. It's really more like the whole like spectacle. Like you're hanging out with your friends or your family, the food.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. But yeah, I feel like I can't really remember if there's any more like funnier ones that I can remember. My brain went completely blank. I remember they had that one. I think it was like the one. It's some kind of beer. It's like doobie doobie doo.
That was
which beer is that?
That was also Bud. That
it was Bud.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Beware! It was doobie doobie doo. Beware of the penguins.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that was also Bud. Budweiser and Bud Light. They kill the commercial game.
They dominated.
Yeah, they're always, and the credit card companies usually do a pretty decent job too. Mm-hmm. They always have a lot of cameos and stuff on.
Yes, I remember one like maybe 2 years ago. Everyone like complaining about it. It was like a robot like at a factory, and he like kills himself. He jumps in. I love that one. My God, get over it.
Well, people are so sensitive to everything nowadays. It's ridiculous. Some of the commercials now, they're just so more tame than they used to be. Yeah. Because if you remember back in the day, you had like Carmen Electra eating like Doritos Puffs wearing next to no clothes. And it was all raunchy. It was great.
Yeah,
but
everything was GoDaddy.com.
Yes,
they always
GoDaddy.com.
Had Danica Patrick or some hot
but
girl
now it's more of a family event. Because for the longest time, everyone always watched the Super Bowl, but it was all the advertisements were just geared towards dudes. But now it's more of a family thing.
Yes.
So now you don't have that same level of raunchiness or edginess to any of it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there was another commercial. It's on the tip of my tongue. I just had it. Oh, PJ, I cannot remember it. Oh, damn.
They used to have like TV shows like dedicated to like the best Super Bowl commercials and stuff. Yeah. It would be like on VH1 and shit like that. They'd kind of go through the best ones. I used to like to watch that because you really can't see every commercial. You're distracted. It's loud. You're at a party. You don't see everything.
Yeah.
You know, so you miss a lot of it. So I used to like when they would do those recaps so you could like just watch the commercials.
Yeah. Well, now I like they have like the puppy bowl. You know,
Yes.
I love watching those. So now they have like the kitten bowl.
Well, that's because it's way better than the actual halftime shows they give us.
right. And actually, I think this year they're gonna have Nickelodeon's having their own halftime special or something like that.
I read
like
that too.
SpongeBob's gonna
Yeah.
like interact with you or whatever the heck it is. Some kind of
Speaking of
thing.
halftime shows,
Right.
do you remember? This had to be the late '90s,
Right.
maybe early 2000s. WWE put on halftime heat.
Yes.
And it was The Rock versus Mankind for the title in an empty arena match.
Yes, I do remember that. Wow.
That shit was great. It was just the two of them. There was no
Wow.
crowd.
Yeah.
They're like an extreme hardcore match all over the arena. And I think, if I remember correctly, I want to say Mankind won.
Wow.
And he used a forklift with like a pallet, and he put it over The Rock. So The Rock, I think it was Mankind that won. It could have been the other way around, but the ending of the match was they took a pallet.
Right.
And they put it on top of him so he couldn't kick out.
Right.
And then they laid on top of the pallet while the ref counted.
Right. Wow. I remember that, man. Wow. Amazing. What a time machine. Mm-hmm.
Because even then, like, the Super Bowl just, like, had so many, just people had eyes on it that everyone wants to cash in on it. And WWE was just so popular at that point that it was perfect.
Yeah. I heard recently, I'm not sure, I guess it's true, it was on the internet, but they said that the halftime shows weren't really a big deal until In Living Color had a special, and it drove all these viewers away, and most people didn't go back. It's like, you know, the Fairweather fan. And the following year, they heading up. That's when they hired Michael Jackson. And that was, and ever
I
since
didn't realize that.
Yeah, I did not.
I remember there were times when the halftime show was actually a show and it wasn't even a musical event. Like, it was Indiana Jones trying to get the Lombardi trophy, and then like the big boulder would chase him.
Right.
I remember that one. But yeah, now it's always musical acts, and it's always the worst musical acts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do we have this year? It's Usher.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? I don't want to see him. I don't care.
I like a few of his songs, but
for the Super Bowl,
you think he's gonna have any special guests?
They always have special guests. They can't help themselves. I couldn't give a shit less about Usher.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like it should always be a rock band.
Should we skip some? Should we just go to some of our favorite or least favorite halftime shows? Is that okay, PJ?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, so you know what? Maybe should we start with the best or the worst of halftime?
Let's start with the best.
Okay, I think these are not any particular order, but I really enjoyed Tom Petty. That's when I know the Giants won that year, but I really enjoyed. It was just like straight rock band.
Yep.
I
had no problem with Tom Petty.
It was just like straight rock show.
Right.
It was like wasn't like I don't know, something about it was very straightforward. I love Bruno Mars actually.
I didn't hate his. I didn't love his. I don't like him in general. I don't listen to his music. I don't.
Really,
it doesn't speak to me.
Right, and the Chili Peppers came out for that one point, but I really.
Well, I don't really like the Chili Peppers either. So
yep,
that's
I know. You and I think talked about this on a past episode. I really enjoyed U2's when they did. It was right after September 11th.
Get out of here!
But that was a great show.
Get out of here!
I put up. I'm not the biggest fan of her, but I thought she did a good job. It was Beyonce. I think
I didn't like that one either.
I did like, for some reason, I think it was last year, one made the big. I thought it was hilarious. Shakira and Jennifer Lopez.
I thought that was pretty good, actually.
It was funny.
I didn't have any problem with that.
Running around, or the year before. And I think last year, maybe it was last year, the one before, it was like Dr. Dre, Snoop.
Yes, I think that was that was either last year or 2 years ago. I forget
like those.
when.
But there's so many classic ones. You had like some Michael Jackson, Prince. You had
Dr. Dre was 2022.
Well, you had you had Paul McCartney, the Stones, even the Who.
Prince. The Prince one is probably the best one.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the best halftime show they've had was Prince.
Yeah.
The Stones did it.
Yes.
That was early 2000s they must have done it, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that was a good one. I feel like you need more of a rock band for the halftime show. I think.
But they've always been saying they're going to have Metallica. I don't know how they have not gotten these guys to do it.
I mean, they can't be. They can't afford them.
Right.
They have all the money.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Unless they just don't want to do it. I don't know. Do they feel like it's beneath them at this point? I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of pressure. You know, supposedly everything's lip synced. Only a few things your mic's turned on, all that stuff. Because I know bands like the Stones or Paul McCartney, like, no, we're playing live. You know, there's too much setup time to do all that crap. Yeah. But they insisted on it. Like, we're only doing this if we can do it live. So
it's also, they don't have it's not set up for a concert either. So it's like you can't put up a concert stage and get all the mic checks and the sound checks and all. You have 5 minutes to set it up because you only have 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's probably why they want that. What about the Janet Jackson
Oh,
Super Bowl halftime show?
well, that one, I looked because I was looking some of this stuff up. So that one, there was multiple performers. It was her, Justin Timberlake,
yeah.
and some other people. I just forgot their names. But it was other acts, and the whole thing. I don't want to go into a whole tangent about this part. But I feel there's two incidents, PJ, that I think started the whole cancellation movement and the apology tour.
Right.
Was Janet Jackson? She got canceled.
She did, yeah.
Did you know? I didn't know this. She wasn't allowed. She was banned from the Grammys that year.
Yeah.
She was banned.
She was.
And Justin Timberlake was able to go to the Grammy because he apologized. Okay?
Yeah.
But I think around that same time period. So anyway, I think she's like the first victim ever of cancellation, right? And the second one that kind of started, I call it the apology tour. Everyone wanted this public apology.
Right.
Remember when Tiger Woods cheated on his wife and
Yeah.
she broke his windshield?
Yep. She threw a golf club, yeah.
Right. And he had to set at a press event for Rolex, and
Yep.
he had to apologize.
Yeah.
Why are you apologizing to me? You
Yeah,
didn't cheat
you didn't
on
do anything to me.
Apologize to your wife. But ever since then, those two events have started.
Yeah.
That's the start of the whole apology tour. I'm telling
It's-
you, it's not the recent stuff. I mean, the internet obviously
Right.
was around then, but that was the beginning. Was those two events, I believe.
And I just don't think the Janet Jackson thing was that big a deal.
Nah.
A blink and you miss it.
Right.
Now the controversy was it on purpose? Was it not on purpose?
Of course it was on purpose.
Of course it was on purpose.
He ripped it off.
Right.
Right.
But
I mean, looking back on it, it's actually hilarious.
It is
that
very
someone
funny.
said, hey, we're gonna
rip off. We're gonna show your boob.
what a concept.
It really was something strange. I don't know how they put that together. It's not even the inappropriateness or anything like that. That doesn't bother me. I thought it was
Right.
fine. It was just so weird.
Right.
It doesn't fit in.
Yeah.
Just gonna rip off because it wasn't even her whole boob. It was just a nip.
Yeah, it was just I think she was wearing a pasty on it or
Yeah.
something. But ever since then, her career kind of I don't think she ever put up any other.
I think she might have had a couple of songs, but no big hits.
Mm-hmm.
What other Super Bowl halftime
I
shows
think
were there?
one of the ones that was I think one of the worst was actually remember Maroon 5.
Yep.
And then everyone was making fun of what's his face?
Yeah.
I can't remember Levine. Something
Yeah.
and Adam Levine.
Adam Levine.
And all the memes were he looks like a Chipotle bag, and do you remember Mike Francesa, the New York? I love that guy. I used to always laugh because he was he did his. I couldn't wait for his review of the Super Bowl. I don't know who even played that one, but he goes I'll never forget his. And it's opening monologue is and that halftime show. All I'm gonna say is put your shirt back on. That was the best. I mean, there was some other. Remember this one too? I mean, I think Justin Timberlake is I think he's just maybe just bad luck because he did the thing with Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Remember the one he did with Aerosmith and
Britney Spears.
And
Yeah,
then that's when they had fireworks coming out of their Wolverine style or Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That was so corny. And then his own halftime show when it was just him as a solo artist, that was horrendous.
I just don't think he's that great.
I
in
never liked
general.
him. There's a few songs I like. I like Cry Me a River and
But overall, I don't think he's that great. I mean, but there have been some really odd picks for halftime show, like New Kids on the Block.
right.
They did one in the early 90s.
Yep,
That's
yep.
kind of ridiculous. Trying to think if there are any other.
I know which one always made me laugh too. This is more recent. Was The Weeknd. He wasn't
Yeah,
even there.
that
He was in a
box.
Yeah. He was looked like he was in a cheese grater.
Yeah.
And then he was doing I don't know, some kind of choreography with cars.
It was very
I'm
strange.
what?
Not my favorite.
I think another one that's always this actor always is cringe, but I kind of like them because I think they embrace their own cringe as the Black Eyed Peas.
It was not the best performance, but it was a Black Eyed Peas performance.
I don't know what it is, man. They crack me up, especially Fergie.
Yeah.
I love that video of her at Good Morning America. She's doing cartwheels.
Right.
I love it. I don't know what it is, man. It was bad, but it's so good. It's so bad, it's good. I love it.
There was Gloria Estefan. She did one.
Wow.
Yeah, that was in the early 90s as
I
well.
know Phil Collins did it with somebody
Yeah.
else. I can't remember.
The Who, they did it.
Yes.
That must have been
I think early 2000s.
early 2000s, yeah. But they did it, and I remember people hating on it and not enjoying their performance, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was terrible.
Nah.
It just wasn't memorable.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh my god! I just went blank. Oh my god! I'm a little sick, guys. Every kid at the lunch table right now is sick.
Yeah, everyone at this table. Has something wrong with him.
Oh, remember Katy Perry?
With the left shark?
Yes.
Yes.
The shark stole the show.
The shark did steal the show.
She, actually started off as a like an emo like rock singer kind
Right.
of thing. You could find footage of her.
Yeah.
And then she went the pop route. Obviously, it worked out for her.
Sure did. She
But,
has all the money. I like
yeah.
Katy Perry.
Yeah.
I don't have any issues with her.
But I remember her performance just being like, I mean, she doesn't really have the greatest songs.
No.
It's hard to translate live. It really is. You only have 15 minutes to do all this stuff. I don't think she's the strongest singer. Neither is Rihanna. I like her music, but I don't think she's a good live singer at all.
I think her songs are okay. I don't have any issues with her. I thought her performance was
Right.
was.
I gotta ask you one.
Yeah.
Now I remembered it.
Okay.
I know my brother's probably. Hopefully my brother's listening. What about Lady Gaga?
Oh, fuck Lady Gaga.
I always like in the beginning when she jumped off the building and everyone's like, "Oh my god, she killed it."
I was hoping she did.
She had like a parachute on her or something. Like
There are
bungee cord.
very few acts that I like less than Lady Gaga. I can't stand her. Hate her. Hate her. And again, I don't think that's the right act for the Super Bowl.
Know what I really want, and then we'll go back. We'll talk about the game. I know everyone wants to, but know what they really need a halftime show really needs is some good we need to bring back some like patriotism. Like I'm not saying like left or right. Like can we
Right.
be like can we wear can someone wear like a red, white, and blue? Like
Right.
can we for one night hey we're all together.
It's an American event. It's the most American event.
Can we express
Yeah.
gratitude and be happy that we have a country that's not okay? Yes, we know it's not perfect. Nothing is, but I think I'd rather be here than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Can we just be happy that we're in this giant stadium enjoying a game?
I think
Can't we be a little happy, folks? Can we get some bald eagles flying around?
To that point, I always think it's weird that it's never a country act.
Yeah.
It's never a country
What's
act
that
at the
guy
Super
who's
Bowl.
big? What's that guy who's big?
There's a few of them.
White guy.
Well, it's a country act, so that makes sense.
Right. Oh my God.
Chesney, Urban.
No, he's like the
McGraw.
OG. The OG guy. He's like one of the originals from the 90s. He was big. Oh my God. Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks. Okay.
Has he ever done it?
No, I don't think.
What?
I don't think he has.
Has Shania Twain, has she ever done it?
I can look it up. And
She should have done it.
We can look and see if
You know
if she
Taylor
has.
Swift's going to do it.
She's. You listen.
It's going to get... We're going to...
I always say this. I like Taylor Swift. I have no issues with her music. I have no issues with her. I don't need to see her anymore on a football game. It's
Right.
so it just takes over the show. And if you look at the internet, everyone's like, it's not her fault. You're right. It's not her fault.
No.
She's not asking to be on the TV.
Right.
I still don't want to see her every other camera shot is her. Just let me watch the game.
Yeah. It's like, remember when, what's his face? What's his name? Tom Brady, when he was married to Giselle.
Giselle,
It's
yeah.
like, they showed it for 2 seconds.
And that was it.
That's it. I think that's what people are getting turned off. It's like, hey, you're seeing too much of her, and I think it's like one of those things where people get very defensive or very possessive. Like this is my football game,
Right.
I just want to concentrate on that. Like I don't want it to be anything else, I don't want it to be Disney-fied or
Right.
Let's just keep it the NFL. But I think that's what we are feeling. Like you said, they need to stop focusing. Just do
They
one
really
clip.
do.
They got to show her, but just do it once.
Bruce
That's it.
Springsteen did the halftime show. I'm going through the list.
Right, I don't even remember that.
That was 2009. Bruce Springsteen.
I'm not a big Bruce fan, but I don't even remember.
I don't dislike Bruce.
I'm not a big fan of the boss.
I'm still going through Paul McCartney.
Yep.
That was fine. That was a good one.
Well, they started. Well, after the Janet Jackson thing, they wanted to pick safer acts.
Yeah.
That's when you had that whole thing of
Yep.
it was like Paul.
Shania did do the halftime show in 2003. It was Shania Twain, No Doubt, and Sting.
What? Wow. What?
Yeah.
No Doubt.
Sting,
and
Shania Twain.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a hell of a lineup.
What a weird lineup.
Then there was
Jeez.
U2. Fuck them. I hate them.
Hey.
I don't like
That was
them.
a great performance, though, PJ.
They are terrible, and I hate them. 2000 was Phil Collins, Christina Aguilera, Enrique Iglesias, and Tony Braxton.
Wow.
Let's go.
Like you said, what a collection of people.
Yeah, it's just...
I mean, it's cool. It's all different genres.
1999 had a hell of a halftime show lineup. Stevie Wonder, Gloria Estefan, and Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
What?
Right?
Wow, they played Big Dad Voodoo Daddy?
Yeah.
Zoot Zoot Riot.
1998, A Salute to Motown with Boys to Men, Smokey Robinson, The Temptations,
All right.
Queen Latifah, Martha Reeves, and the Grambling State University Marching Band.
Right. Okay.
1997 was the Blues Brothers with Dan Aykroyd, John Goodman, James Belushi. Well, yeah, it had to be Jim because
Right. Yeah.
John's dead. And James Brown and ZZ Top.
Wow.
I thought the Blues Brothers, like with John Belushi, had done something at the halftime show, but I could just be misremembering. Let's see. 1996 had Diana Ross. 95 was Indiana Jones. So here you go. 1994, Rockin' Country Sunday. Clint Black, Tanya Tucker, Travis Tritt, and Winona and Naomi Judd.
Oh, okay.
And then, so that's like Michael Jackson was 93. So yeah, like they don't really have a lot of country people.
Right.
That's crazy. You would think.
Yeah.
I just feel like that would make sense.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Totally. But PJ, let's do the Bud Bowl between the 49ers and Chiefs, man.
Okay.
This is actually a rematch, PJ. Did you know that?
Yes.
And they last time they fought each other was in 2019. The Chiefs won.
Yes.
I'm not sure, PJ. You probably know if it's. I know it's the same coach for the head coach for the Chiefs. Was it the same dude for the 49ers?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that the Chiefs are probably going to win this.
Really? That's your prediction?
That's my prediction. That's not what I want.
Right.
That's not what I want. I'm rooting for the 49ers.
Right.
I think the Chiefs just happen to have a better team.
Right.
I always feel like when these two teams go against each other, is Joe Montana sitting at home like, who does he root for?
Right.
He was the best quarterback either of those teams have ever had.
Right.
Who does Joe Montana root for when it's the 49ers versus the Chiefs? I have to believe he roots for the 49ers.
I would say so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the Chiefs have a better team. I like Brock Purdy. I think Mahomes is better.
Right.
You know,
You think it's gonna be a good game, PJ?
It's going to be a game. It's not going to be a bad game. I think Kelsey is the best tight end in the NFL, except for the fact that, look, this is not a hate on Taylor Swift episode.
Right.
He was way better before they started dating. I think Taylor Swift has sapped the energy right out of Mr. Kelsey.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't performing as well once she stepped out into the picture here, and you found out they were together. He can't seem to shake it off. I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know, bro. But PJ, I got some information.
Okay.
About the Super Bowl. And I just want to read some of these off. This is from CBS Sports.
Okay.
So here we go. This is the second time the Chiefs and 49ers will match up. Like I said, in 2019 they last met. Okay, so this is the Chiefs' fourth Super Bowl appearance in 5 seasons.
Yeah, they are close to like Tom Brady numbers here for Pat Mahomes.
And they are just the third team in NFL history to enjoy such a stretch.
Yeah.
After the 2014 to 2018 Patriots and the 1990 to 1993 Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. They're a good team. You can't take away what the Chiefs have been able to accomplish. Pat Mahomes, if you look at some of his stats, right? And you compare them.
He's young. I should have more information about that, too.
If you compare his stats for how early it is really in his career to Tom Brady, like that same, like, the amount of time, he's close to being better than Tom Brady. It's crazy how he seemed to, like, fly under the radar there for a bit. I guess because everyone was still focusing on the Bradys of the world.
Yeah.
But Mahomes is really good. And I think there's a potential that the longer his career goes, he winds up surpassing a lot of what Brady has accomplished.
And he's still young.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs won last year.
Yep.
I forgot about that. They beat the Eagles.
Yeah, that was Kelsey versus Kelsey in that.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And they're looking to be the first back-to-back champions since the 03-04 Patriots.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Basically 20 years ago.
I personally like Jason Kelsey better. I think he was for those. I don't know how many people listen are sports fans or football fans.
Yeah.
Travis Kelsey from the Chiefs. He's their tight end. He's probably the best tight end in the league. Jason Kelsey, his older brother, was the center for the Eagles and just a tremendous center. He was good at that role. and he's such an entertaining guy and a class act. I'm a big fan of his. I was hoping that the Eagles would make it back into the Super Bowl so they could do the rematch and maybe Jason Kelsey could get the win this year.
Yes.
Didn't work out that way, so now he's supporting his brother, and he's all over the place supporting his brother. It's great to see it. Like he doesn't. He's the minute he lost, knew he was out. He was squarely on the Chiefs bandwagon for his brother.
And I think they're very close because I think my
they
wife
have a
said
podcast.
Yes, they have their own podcast.
It's incredibly entertaining. If you get a chance to listen to it or watch some of the clips, they really have you can tell they have a really great chemistry. And how close they are.
So, PJ, you're talking about Mahomes, right? He will be the first player at this position, right, quarterback, to ever start in 4 different Super Bowls before the age of 30.
Yeah.
He won his first title at age 24 in 2019, and now is seeking his 3rd ring at age 28. OMG.
He's really...
He's only 28.
He's a superstar.
It's unbelievable.
He's a superstar in the league. He's going to be the face of the league. If he isn't the face of the league right now, he will be. I mean...
What was that guy on the... a couple of years ago, maybe more than a couple of years ago. He was on the Seahawks. He was like a young guy. What the heck was his name?
Russell Wilson?
That's it.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that guy? Because I felt like he was going to be like at one
sucks.
point.
That's what happened.
Okay. Okay. I don't know much about football. I don't know the other sports, but I remember him. He was like kind of like, He's on the Broncos, I think now. Wow.
I don't even know if he's a starter for them. I shouldn't say he sucks. He is a good quarterback. He didn't blow up the way others did.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I think the coach of the 49ers is Shanahan. Is that correct, PJ? So both of Shanahan's previous Super Bowl appearances included his team surrendering multiple score leads. Atlanta infamously lost a 28-3 lead to Brady and the Patriots in 2016. Marking the largest comeback in Super Bowl history. And then Shanahan's 49ers then lost 20-10 to Mahomes and the Chiefs, who scored 21 unanswered fourth-quarter points in 2019. Oh, my God, there's a trend here, PJ.
I don't see a world where Kansas City loses this game.
Right.
But, I mean, you look at some of the players on the 49ers, and I mentioned Brock Purdy before. I don't know if you have any notes about him.
I do, PJ.
He's a really good quarterback.
Listen to this. Listen to this little story. It kind of reminds me of Brady in some ways. So Purdy was the 262nd and final pick.
Yeah, it's Mr. Irrelevant.
Yes, 2000 exactly.
Yeah.
In the 2022 NFL Draft, exactly.
Yeah.
Coined Mr. Irrelevant for his overlooked arrival after a college career at Iowa State. He only became the 49ers quarterback after injuries to Garoppolo, I'm not sure if I pronounced his name right, and former number 3 overall pick, Trey Lance.
Yeah.
So Mr. Irrelevant is now Mr. Relevant.
Yeah.
So PJ, what's your analysis of Purdy? Is he good? Is this guy?
I think he is. I think he's a very solid quarterback.
Is this his first? I'm assuming this is his first shebang, right?
Yeah, this is his big shebang is right now. I think he's a good quarterback. He has pretty decent passer rating, I believe. Obviously, he brought a team to the Super Bowl, so he obviously is a good quarterback. But you're comparing him to someone like Pat Holmes.
I know.
Are you going to be able to outplay a Pat Holmes?
Right.
I don't think he's that good.
Right.
I mean, he was a third-string quarterback.
Yes.
He was a third-string quarterback. He got lucky that people kept getting hurt.
Yes.
That he was able to even find himself in that spot. And he can perform on the field. For the 2023 season, right? He had to. He wasn't going into that as the starting quarterback. He had to earn that spot, and it was either going to be him, I think, or Sam Darnold, who was a Jet quarterback. And He was awful on the Jets.
Right.
And they had like a quarterback competition. They wound up seeing who was going to be the starter, and Brock wound up getting the nod at the beginning of the season and brought the team to the Super Bowl. It would be a real Cinderella story if this guy wins, I think. I don't think
absolutely.
anybody sees him as the main attraction going into this game. Mm-hmm. There are people putting a ton of money on bets on him being the MVP.
Oh, of course.
Because if they win and he's the MVP of the Super Bowl, you're getting a huge payout.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And my last little info is Kelsey already has the most catches in NFL playoff history.
Yeah.
156, PJ. Passing 49ers legend Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
And the NFC Championship win over the Ravens. He also has the second most receiving yards with 1,810 and 19 touchdowns, trailing only Hall of Famer Rice.
Yeah.
PJ, you were right. Kelsey's very good.
Yeah. He's the best tight end in the game.
Jeez Louise.
There's probably not a better one. And he works hard to be that good.
Mm-hmm.
So good for him. But I just feel like he's also getting the shit end of the stick right now because people are blaming him for Taylor Swift being on the TV. It's not his fault either. It's
Right.
not. He just goes to the games and he does his thing.
Right.
And she goes to the game to watch him. It's not her
Right.
fault they put her on TV. People are hating on Kelsey because of her. They're hating on her because she's on the TV. It's a whole thing. There's this whole thing about, like, is she going to make it to the game on time? Can she fly back from, I think, Tokyo? Like, enough. Let's just focus on the football game.
Right.
And let's just hope for the best that the 49ers pull it off.
Yeah.
That's all we want.
So, Coach PJ, I have a question.
Okay?
Now, you said the Chiefs, you think the Chiefs are going to win.
I think the Chiefs are going to
So,
win.
if you're the coach, if you're Shanahan of the 49ers, how are you going to, what would be your game plan? What would be your strategy?
You got to shut down the passing game. That's what you have to do. And
Right.
I don't know. I don't watch too many 49er games because they're not really in our market.
Right.
So I don't have the NFL network, so I only watch them
Right. Yeah.
occasionally. So I can't speak how good their defense is.
Right.
But I can speak to how good the offense is for the Chiefs.
Right.
And that's a hard passing game to shut down. If they can shut down Kelsey, if they can keep, Mahomes from airing the ball out and getting,
Right.
keep that passing game to a minimum.
Right.
That's how you beat them, I think.
Yeah. I don't know much, PJ, about football, truthfully. But this is my only strategy. This is fundamentals. If I was the one, I would try to use it, shut down, do really good defense. And I think my thing, what I would tell the players and my quarterback, Purdy, is get as many first downs as you can. I feel like you control the game. That's what I'm trying to say. You have to control the game. Because I think if you let the Chiefs do their thing,
yeah, I don't
they're
think
gonna
this
just
is
be running around.
I don't think this is a shootout kind of a Super Bowl. I think you're 100% right. I think if the 49ers are going to have a chance to win, it's a low-scoring game.
And you got to control that ball. Get those first downs.
You just don't want to get the ball in Mahomes' hands.
Keep controlling that ball. Drag it out.
Keep your run game going so that the ball doesn't get back to Mahomes. That's what I think.
So, yeah, I'm excited, though. I enjoy the Super Bowl. Like I said, I think over the years I've gotten more and more into football. Because as a kid, everything was like baseball for me and basketball.
I was always more into football than I was
Yes,
the
of
other
course.
ones.
I remember that. Yes,
football and hockey have always been my two favorite sports.
Mm-hmm. So, PJ, I want us to revisit some of our favorite Super Bowls. Okay. So I want to talk about a couple.
Okay.
Maybe you enjoy these too.
All right.
I'm curious to hear yours. So, I think for me, when I got really more into football was in 2008. Yes.
Okay.
It's when the Giants went against the Patriots. And I'm going to tell everyone why I got more into it. And as a New York fan, I never really have a favorite. I equally like Jets and Giants or even the Bills. For that stuff, I'm not really, But I was so thrilled to have the Giants face the Patriots because as a Yankee fan, we were hurting, okay? The Yankees got owned by the Red Sox in 2004, 2007. So this was like revenge for that. Like this was like vengeance. We had to win this. And do you remember? This is when they had the perfect. They're going for the perfect season. They were like 18 or whatever, 17 and 0, whatever that is.
Yeah, they hadn't lost.
Yes, and I remember that whole thing was huge because remember the first whatever playoff game it was Giants versus Packers.
Yep.
And I remember it was so cold. You have Coughlin's face was frozen. His nose was gonna fall off. And I remember just that game was so huge. That's when Tom Petty played that halftime. I just never forget it. And of course, the final score, which is low scoring, was 17-14, and with the famous David Tyree helmet catch.
Yeah,
I remember just cheering with my family, my brother, my parents, because we couldn't believe it. Because at that point, you were kind of like, ugh,
right.
You know what I mean? And stuff I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't really know all this. PJ, did you know this? That the year before, that's when Tiki Barber retired.
Yes.
That's like one of those things. It's like almost like a Don Mattingly.
Yeah.
Like when he retired the following year, the Yankees won the World Series. Like, what is going on here? But that was an unbelievable game, and I felt like such vengeance against them.
I was rooting for the Patriots.
What?
As
You wanted a perfect score?
I did.
I mean, a perfect
I did
season?
because how often are you going to get an opportunity to see
Right,
that?
but you, as a New Yorker,
As a Jet fan, even
right?
who's supposed to hate the Patriots,
Yes, exactly.
I was rooting for it because it's so rare that you get an opportunity to see someone have a perfect season.
PJ, let me ask you a trivia question.
Okay.
Who is the only team to have a perfect season?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I only knew this because I looked it up, so I know.
Yeah,
So it's pop quiz. Sorry.
Yeah, pop quiz. I wasn't the only team to have a perfect season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Green Bay.
No, it was actually
Is it Dallas?
no.
Then I don't know.
I'll give you a clue. Ace Ventura.
The Dolphins?
Yes, 1972.
All right.
We weren't alive then.
Yeah.
But yes, only the Dolphins have. Unless I might be wrong, PJ, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
But just think about how rare it is.
I know. That's
to be-
unbelievable. That's
it's,
unbelievable.
It's almost impossible.
Yes.
So the fact that we were that close to getting one,
Yes.
that's why I wanted to
Oh,
see him
yeah.
win.
And that is a rough way. That must have been really tough that
Yeah.
game to be in that locker room.
Yeah,
Woo.
oh, my
I
God.
remember Belichick didn't even shake Coughlin's
He just
hand.
left.
Woo!
Yeah, that was tough. I was rooting for them for that reason, though.
Right.
I wanted to see that perfect game, that perfect season.
Right.
It's such a hard thing to do. It would have been, one
Right.
more feather in the cap of Tom Brady.
Yes. Oh my God. But just because like a few years later, you had the rematch.
Yep.
At 2012. But just to go back to, like I said, just being a New Yorker, PJ. You ever heard of the term like a title town?
Yep.
At this point, I mean, it got worse for us because Boston has been kicking our ass.
Yeah.
Because you had the Red Sox win multiple times now.
Yep.
04, 07, 2013, I think 2018, somewhere around there, right? Then you had the Celtics won in 2008, so their basketball team won.
Yep.
The Bruins won. I
Yep.
forgot what year. And you had and the Patriots won a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Please. So this is like another one. Like, oh, thank God we
At least
beat
we
them in
have one.
2012 because this
Yeah.
is a game where they it was a rematch. And this is when I'm pretty sure I got this right. Ahmed Bradshaw, when he caught it, he did like a little skip with his feet, like he dragged
Yeah,
his feet.
yeah.
And then we ended up winning. But that was amazing. And I felt, thank God we beat them. Thank God. Just I'm sure a lot of Red Sox fans could rub their abs. They have every
Right.
right to. But we have this. Thank God we had this.
Well, one of
Thank
the
God. Thank
Super Bowls
God.
that I really, really enjoy is another Patriots Super Bowl.
Yes.
Is 2017 when they came back when the Falcons were destroying them 28-3.
Yes.
Just crushing them.
Yes.
And it's a meme all over the internet. Everyone always talks about it.
Yep.
But to come back 28-3 and win 34-28,
Right.
it's an incredible feat.
Yes. Yeah.
Nobody could do that. Tom Brady could do that. And I mean, just to watch that comeback in action.
Yes. Tom Brady, I remember like I feel like if they were trailing behind, like in the fourth quarter, it's like 2 minutes left, whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they turn into turbo mode.
Yeah.
Turbo boost. All of a sudden they start. I mean, that's part of Belichick too. But the
They
whole
did this
team,
in 17 minutes.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I never seen anything. They gotta. I mean, he's let go now. What's his face? Belichick, right? Or he's fired or whatever.
I don't know if he was
Retired,
fired. I think he just left. He's looking for another job. He'll coach somewhere else.
Yeah.
And-
But I'm just saying, that whole thing, man, was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That stretch was insane.
It was 17 minutes. It was a quarter and 2 minutes. And they came back to win 34-28. It's crazy.
Right.
Just shows how good Tom Brady is.
Yes.
And it's why it's hard to root against someone who's that good. You just have
Oh,
to.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
You have
yeah,
to
yeah.
appreciate that level of skill and talent.
Yeah. Well, that's talking to Brady. He's on my other one. He won it with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
In 2020.
Yeah.
And Pete, did you remember this? That's obviously when we had COVID.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about this. That the stadium
It was cardboard cutouts of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was limited seating.
Yeah.
But he won it. That was unbelievable.
Of course he won it. He's the best of all time. He's the GOAT. Of course he won it.
I forgot that the stadium wasn't
Yeah,
full.
it wasn't full.
Part of my brain almost thinks that they let all the restrictions off
Right.
at that point. But I remember
they
having
didn't.
the stuff.
They
But
had.
I
And
realized
you
the Super
could
Bowl.
pay to have a cardboard cutout of yourself in the stands.
Right. Who the
Yeah.
hell was there? I mean, who the hell performed for the halftime show?
2020?
Yeah. I'm just
that
curious. Was that
Was that the weekend?
maybe it was? Maybe that's why he drove
Maybe that's why he was in a box. No, that was Shakira.
What?
That was Shakira. 2020 was Shakira.
Holy cow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of another Tampa Bay game, So in 2002, the Tampa Bay also won. PJ, I didn't know this, but I looked it up. So their head coach was John Gruden.
Okay.
He was the head coach for the Raiders.
Yep.
He was there for a couple of years. He gets fired or whatever. I don't know.
Yep.
He goes to the Buccaneers.
And he wins.
But he plays the Raiders in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So it's sometimes the story writes itself. You have to wonder just how scripted is it.
Yes.
Speaking of how scripted is it, have you seen the controversy and all that where the color of the logo is who's going to be in the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Whichever color is on top is the team that loses, whatever it is.
Yes.
I don't buy into it, but it is
weird.
Weird.
It is weird.
So now
man.
everyone is saying this year is the story was broken because now it's red and purple, but there's no purple because the Ravens lost.
Aha.
So everyone thought the Ravens were going to win. I was rooting for the Ravens to win, but then they lost to the Chiefs. So now it's all screwed up. But there's a new rumor.
Uh-oh.
There's a new rumor.
What, 2 colors make purple or something?
No, the new rumor is this. Taylor Swift has an album cover that's all purple. And that is why the Chiefs are in it.
That's amazing. Oh, my God.
That's the new rumor that's going around.
That's amazing. So, PJ, I don't know if you remember this. Super Bowl 38, which was in 2004.
Yep.
Patriots versus Panthers.
Yep.
This is the one where Janet Jackson's breast has popped out.
Yes.
But unfortunately, her breast has taken over
The Super Bowl?
Right,
Yeah.
because that's the game where they made a final kick at the buzzer, and they won it.
Yeah.
That was a great game.
Yeah.
But people forget because Janet Jackson and the whole that thing. But that was a great game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A little bit of a titty overtook the entire game.
Right.
It's a shame how that happens.
And another one, Peach, I remember this is a few years ago, and I remember just like I couldn't believe it. This was like another one. So like the story writes itself. So oh my God, episode 47, Super Bowl 47, 49ers again versus Ravens.
Yep.
Final score 34-31.
Yep.
I think Ravens won that. I believe. But this is the game where the lights went out.
Yes.
This
I
is
remember
where,
that.
So they were. I'm pretty sure the Ravens were up 28-6. Power goes out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was before halftime or after, whatever it was. Anyway,
the game was on hold for feels like 45 minutes or some shit.
Yeah, it was long, and no one knew what to
no one knew what to do.
And then all of a sudden, it like reversed the curse or something like that, and they started the other team coming back. They ended up blowing it, but they ended up winning. But isn't that? I remember that. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I remember going like, remember this year those conspiracy things?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
That was some shit. Like you would think that you would have all that shit on lockdown.
Right.
Generators, backup power.
Exactly.
Engineers on standby in case of anything. The fact that it took, I feel like it was a long time that was on hold.
Remember that? Because I remember, like, I think it was after the halftime. I think it was after halftime show. Like, they just started. It must have been, like, a couple of minutes in. And all of a sudden, bam. And then everyone's like, and I remember, like, all of a sudden, like, when they started coming back, everyone's like, well, obviously they don't have home field advantage or anything like that. But, because you believe, I do believe in momentum.
Right,
sports. So, like, you have that pressure, and now you get to recollect. Everyone starts getting cold. Everyone's sitting on the bench and, farting around.
Yeah.
So, that was unbelievable.
So, that game was in 2013, right?
Yes,
so
wow.
in
10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago. It's crazy, right? But in 2013, I was working overnights at that point.
Wow.
So, I remember just, like, my sleep schedule was all screwed up. You're trying to get an hour here and there whenever you can.
Oh, I can imagine.
And now, the game's taking longer.
Right.
And you're like, come on. This shit needs to end. I want to get at least an hour of sleep. So, yeah, it's, I do remember that game for many reasons. But I just feel like the NFL, with all their money, has to have this shit on lockdown.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know if it got struck by lightning or what.
Yeah.
But, yeah, those are some of my ones I remember the most. I mean, I know there was actually, I think it was the Ravens. I know it's like maybe like early 2000s where the Giants were in it, but they got blown out.
Yeah.
It was like an awful game. It was, they were done by the first quarter.
All I can tell you about the Super Bowl is, look, I'm 38 years old. All right?
Yeah.
Presumably I have a couple of Super Bowls left before I'm off this earth. Right? I don't know. We don't know how much time we have on this lifetime.
No.
But presumably, at 38, I should comfortably get a minimum of somewhere between 15 to 20 more Super Bowls.
Yes.
At a minimum. Hopefully more.
Right.
If we could just have, within the next 15 to 20 years, just one Jet appearance.
Right.
Even if they don't win at this point, give me a chance.
Right.
Come on.
The last time they got super far was when they had Rex Ryan, right? Or is that incorrect?
Yeah, that's when they had Sanchez was the quarterback.
Right.
They were in the
Sanchez.
AFC Championship game, and they lost it.
Right.
And yeah, they really haven't had anything since. Like I said, we have limited Super Bowls left on this earth.
Right.
We don't get to see every Super Bowl.
I know.
You only get to maybe see
Yeah.
60 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's what you get. Maybe you get 70. I don't know. You don't get 100 Super Bowls.
Right. Yeah.
And so if I'm at 38, I've already used up 38 of my Super Bowls.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I got to see the Jets in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What do I got to do here?
I know. I don't know what you got to do. How many
so
rings?
deflating.
How many rings did Tom Brady have? How many? Did he
I
have?
want to say 6.
6 or 7.
I think he has 6.
I'm just thinking about his long career, and he only has 6. I mean, that's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, he's been around for 20 years playing. Right? If you think about that's how hard it is. Like someone his
Oh no, he
dominance.
does have 7. You're right because of the
Tampa
the
Bay.
Tampa Bay, right?
But it's just like I don't really know where I'm going with this, but I'm just like you just don't understand. Like someone like Derek Jeter, I think he
Right.
has 5 rings,
Right.
And he has such a long career.
Yeah.
Or Mariano Rivera, all these guys. But it's like it just shows you how difficult it is to win a championship.
It's next to impossible.
Well, I know Derek Jeter actually said it best. He's like, if you want to win a championship, he's like, obviously you need talent.
You need luck.
Yep, that's what he's
Yeah.
going to say. He says you need talent. He says you need to be healthy.
Yeah.
And he says last thing is you need luck.
Yeah.
And you definitely, because the ball bounces this way, that way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it won't be the Jets this year. It won't be the Jets next year. It probably won't be the Jets the year after that. So I'm hoping
Yes.
that by the time we get to 2030, we have a shot.
Yes. So PJ, before we go, do you have any a final score, like your prediction of a final score?
Prediction of a final score. I'm going to say, let me do some quick mental math. 21, and that'll be 24. I'm going to say 34. Hold on. I have to do the math in my head.
Right.
What is 9 plus 7? 16?
Yes.
34-19.
34-19. Wow. Okay.
Chiefs.
Okay. And I'm
Not what I want to happen. That's what I
Right.
think's going to happen.
Right. And my nephew told me my nephew who's like 11 or 12, he said his buddy has some kind of conspiracy and he
Okay.
found out that the final score is going to be like Back to the Future, the Sports Almanac.
Okay.
This final score is going to be 24-21.
Oh.
So that's what
All right.
So I'm going with that. But yeah, folks. We'll maybe we'll have another update where we talk about
Yeah.
the game, how it went.
Yeah.
But great stuff, PJ.
And I think the over-under on how many times we see Taylor Swift,
Right. Yes.
I think we're going to see her at least, if she shows up at the game, if she makes it from Tokyo,
Yeah.
no less than 15 camera shots of Taylor Swift.
Okay. Perfect. All right, folks. We'll see you in the end zone. Same time, same table.
Hut, hut, hut. Blue 32.
Boys and girls, lunchtime is over. For more information, visit their website at coolkidslunchtable.podbean.com. Follow the boys on all social media platforms. Just search Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast. Now get to class before you get detention.